people. Welcome to FusionKast episode 2.
Hello.
And you'll be seeing her quite often on my show.
Much as I can get here.
Absolutely. And Maria and I are going to have a lot of interesting topics to talk with you folks about. Whoever's going to be watching and listening. Tonight we're going to start by kind of delving off into, so a lot of the topics that we'll be discussing will be topics that are going to be very emotionally driven, very sensitive topics that, everybody's going to take in their own way. A lot of what's going to happen in this show is us sharing our experiences with other individuals and helping them to try to relate, to what they've gone through compared to what we've gone through. We're just really offering avenues of thought for people to consider themselves when listening to the show and watching and hearing what we've been through, what we've gone through, and what we've endured and how we've survived it. And that's all we can really hope, is that we reach out to some individuals that will, be able to relate. Because, none of us are alone. We're a global community when it comes down to it at the end of the day. And so that's really kind of the heart of what we want to get to on this show. So we're gonna delve into a lot of topics with the FusionKast. Maria and I are, and this is our opportunity to just kind of reach out to the global community and see who's, even if you don't respond, even if you just listen to this podcast and you take something from it that helps you move forward in your everyday life,
and it was worthwhile.
So today I think that Maria and I are going to touch off into a realm that allows us to express ourselves down the rabbit hole. Yeah. We get Alice in Wonderland rabbit hole.
Yeah.
We're gonna start off by talking about ways that we can express ourselves when we're caught up in a lot of daily stress, anxiety, paranoia, nervousness over just real tangible issues that we all as humans deal with on a daily basis, no matter where we are, and the ways that we can relieve anxiety and that stress and those nerves and that pressure that kind of tends to build and then hold us back at certain times when we should be moving forward. And I think it's safe to say that as humans, we all experience that from one time or another. Some of us more, some of us less. So that's where we're reaching out. And what we'd like to discuss today is one big avenue to letting those pressures and those nerves and that anxiety out is through creativity, inner creativity.
Yes. I love creativity. And you, being the artist you are, very, very creative. And you can embrace and appreciate creativity for what it is, and creativity is so important. That's creation. I noticed on the computer we were doing some stuff and it had AI, which I'm not a fan of, if anybody has watched my channel, but I understand. I mean, it's almost kind of difficult to get around to some level or degree, but I'll tell you what, it is fast. And so some of the stuff we were playing around with, but one thing I noticed is it asks you to co-create. As a co-creator, which for me, someone with background in theology, I looked at that and I went, wow. With this AI co-creating, because to me, God is creation, both creation and destruction, but to co-create means to essentially be you and I, to be human, because we are co-creators with Source, with the universe, with God. We are that. We are part of that, and that's really important. So that tacks into creativity, because in order to think something or bring something, create something into fruition, you have to have that aspect. And therefore they're very similar. Creativity is hand in hand with co-creation. And I think there was one more topic which you wanted to touch on too. Free will.
Absolutely. And so thank you, Maria, for that. That was wonderfully said. And free will, that's a perfect segue into free will, which is something that all of us have. It's with us for life. We can lose control of free will because of outside circumstances and outside manipulations. Are easy for us to get caught up into losing free will over being basically overindulged by misinformation, But there's other things that can cause a loss in control over free will. What we need to do is keep our minds always open to the fact that we have free will no matter what. We make our own decisions. We choose who we're going to be, and we create our own reality essentially with free will. So there's different ways to go ahead and exercise free will, especially if you realize that maybe you feel like you're under some kind of suppressive condition where you don't have free will for whatever reason. There's ways to relieve that, okay? And a lot of that is through creativity, through the arts.
That's a good point. As that release can come out, it can either be a detriment to you or it can be a benefit, and it's going to come out one way or another. It has to, or it's going to destruct, so to speak. But yeah, like you told me when you were telling me a story about how you used music to get a lot of your emotions out, and segued into co-creating, which ended up becoming a profession as well. But yes, getting that out rather in some format, in your case music, was essentially a saving grace, so to speak. And that was your muse, was the music, yeah.
Yes, that is absolutely correct. That's one thing what Maria is speaking of, is one avenue, one pathway to that creativity. We all have our own natural ways of finding our strengths and creativity. We may not always know what it is right up front until we explore different creative pathways.
But that's why you need free will. You have to have the ability to do it. I mean, there's so many talented people out there that have so much, and I've seen it over the past 4 years, especially when I've been involved in a lot of projects and work. How many people are just incredibly talented and creative, and they have to get by like anybody. They have to make a living, they have to get up, they have to go work their 9 to 5. But if they were left, they didn't have to adhere to all these societal standards, and they were left to their own free will. My goodness, the amazing talent out there. I would be floored to see what could be created or even co-created, humanly wise, from people, because as bad as things have been, during this time that we're in, it's also been an amazing opportunity to see such talent, creativity, kindness, compassion, goodness, and unity. And it doesn't seem like it, but I can assure you I've been in it long enough that it's there, and it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. And that free will, that ability to do it without having somebody tell you can't use your, and I'll say, God-given gifts, people just take off and they fly. And it's wow, that's all I can say. So these are really big things, because in order to protect the creativity, to protect your sovereign, I would say, free will, that is of the universe, divinely given, as a co-creator with Source or with God, you have that ability. And the unfortunate part, kind of tying into some of these other topics that will later be discussed on FusionKast, will be how, on some of the episodes, will be kind of how that ties in to even our current situation and events. But for right now, just to kind of set the page for everybody, we're keeping it here so you understand we want to be able to perhaps even create like a community. So if you see this, share, like, subscribe, comment, because we want our tribe. We want like-minded people, and we will embrace you, and we hope that you would embrace us as one of your own, as family, because at the end of the day, that's what we are. We are the human race. We are family. And it's unfortunate that things have gone this way, but I really have faith and hope that things are going to go on an upturn, because there's so much talent. And I want to thank you for having me on, and even making me a co-host when I can on your
You're very welcome.
Your podcast, because the more people that can be reached and feel they can relate and feel that authenticity and know that, hey, you're not alone out there, and add to it, because it's also helpful for us. I think what could go wrong? This is a beautiful thing for sure. So having this space and opportunity to come on, share my thoughts, listen to your thoughts, hear the audience's opinions and thoughts, and I couldn't be more grateful. And then thank you to audience for leaving that. But yeah, thank you for giving me the space and time.
And thank you, Maria.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Folks.
I know we're keeping it short today. You got to be so vague because we got to keep it short right now. But just to get it kind of off the ground and going.
And again,
and oh gosh, we have so much stuff to talk about.
we do.
He and I have spoken so much lately, and I'm telling you, this is gonna be so much. I will say fun. Although we're gonna have moments. We're gonna be here with you and. Well, supportive. We'll cry together. Seriously, I mean, with everything that's going on,
Or you might catch us joking around a little bit.
Yes, because we also have to be able to get through this. So sometimes we have to bring levity and some humor into the seriousness.
Sense of humor and try not to dive too deep, although we're going to go pretty deep. We want to try to, as Maria said, bring levity at all times. Yeah. A common sense of humor that people that are just comfortable and friends and just, sitting around and listening and talking can talk about these types of things, but also, have a measure of levity there. So, what the last thing we want to do is raise anxiety, stress. We're here to help relieve that for anybody in the global community here. This is reaching out to global community, all humans on the planet, okay? And hopefully it'll be message received. It's message sent. It's just,
Well, to our family, to our brothers and sisters of the same race.
Yeah.
We are all, as a human species, and no matter where you're at, whether it be Iran, USA, Israel, Europe, it doesn't matter. We all are the same. We all feel the same. We all think about our loved ones, our friends and family the same. We all want the same things. I mean, the division really is nonsensical. Regardless, I think that's also another thing, as far as having all the division. That might be its own podcast, but really at the end, again, we are all one of the same. So not only do we want to be here for you and encourage communication, and please, feel free to speak your mind. We love hearing input, even if it's. I would say for me, I can speak for me personally, but even if I don't agree with somebody,
you can speak for me also.
Yeah. Even if I do. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad you trust me.
Good.
I'm glad you trust me.
Of course.
Yeah. I appreciate that. But
and guys and gals. So, again, got the cough there.
Yeah.
Again, thank you for listening to episode 2 of FusionKast with Kirk and Maria. To reach out to as many people globally as we can. Any responses that we get, or any comments, or anybody out there listening, as in the Pink Floyd song, is there anybody out there? Is there anybody out there?
Yeah,
you can let us know if you're interested in this, and we're going to keep it going either way, whether we have 0 listeners or 10,000. It doesn't matter.
Hopefully more, because I would hope that we reach a lot of people. That's the goal.
The point. Yes, that's the goal. But we're going to keep doing our thing and sending our message out there to our global family. I mean, like Maria said, we're all humans. We're here. We need to...
and we're all here on it, so we got to figure this out. And I don't think we all want what we're seeing. So I think the more we can open up, become more of that family, I think the better off everybody will be. I know on my channel, my YouTube channel, I'm here for everybody. I try to give you educational and information coinciding with some of the projects I'm working on to keep you updated, and please feel free to share that. I don't take money for that. It is strictly informational and educational purposes only, and that is Maria Rebels is shadow banned on YouTube. YT, you might have to punch it in, and we can put a link down too. But I would encourage people also to stop by there, take some stuff in. It's really, really some wild stuff, but it's going to be beautiful in the end. Once we get through this, God willing, I really feel in my heart that things will be beautiful, but right now we got to get through hell. And as a matter of fact, that reminds me, I'm going to change this on the map here because I don't think this is right now. You want to put the camera over?
Oh, sure.
Show people.
Alright.
Here we go. Right. So we're gonna change this. You get hell. But, folks,
Alright.
friends, if you can be happy in hell, you can be happy anywhere.
Well said. That's true.
It's true.
And hey,
it is true, and unfortunately, with the things that are going on that are so heavy, I won't even jump over to that because that'll just become an extraordinarily intense emotional
That's a
situation.
separate podcast.
Exactly,
itself,
and that
so.
you can go to my channel and find out information more about that. But, yeah, I forgot to change that on the map back, but. On my map, yeah.
Next episode.
Now on your map, you got hell.
We'll do that in the next. We'll do that in the next episode.
But that's okay. Hopefully, we can change this back again.
We'll do that in the next episode. I promise you. Upcoming preview next episode. So yeah, we're gonna stick with our message. We're never gonna give up on it.
And we're not gonna give up on any of you, and I'm not gonna give up on any of you. And if you haven't been to my channel, I would hope by now people understand that I'm not giving up on you.
No way.
And neither is he.
No chance.
I know him well enough now to tell you. He's a good guy, and he's going to be here with you all as well.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to co-host as much as I can, and I wish you all the best, and I hope this soars and takes off, and the tribe comes, and I'll be here as much as I can.
Sunny weather for everyone. Maria and Kirk will see you on the next episode of FusionKast. And have a great day. Take care. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.